Hello, welcome to LoFi Bedtime Very Tales. I hope you are thinking, feeling, and behaving well. Additionally, and furthermore, I hope you are simply enjoying your life. There's a lot to delight in, from the sheer beauty of all the shades of purple, the deliciousness of a crisp glass of lemonade, and the good feelings we experience when we are around the people who care about us. In this episode, I will tell you the tale of Sam and how she learns to navigate the difficult waters of a new school and unexpectedly develop some coping skills that help her better manage her anxiety. Sam is pretty rad, but she just doesn't know it yet. If you really like my story, I highly encourage you to give a listen to an interpretation of it by my wonderful friends over at Planet Storytime Podcast. Finally, always remember to do things today to make tomorrow better. Sam certainly has, and you'll hear how it worked out well for her. Sam's secret specialty skills. It was going to be another challenging school year for Sam. She was moving again. Third time since she was 7, and she was 11 now. In case you didn't know, Sam would never be 7 again, as with time we all move forward. Sam was excited to be moving, though, and this is because she would have new fun things to do outside of the house. She could finally have ocean adventures, always have sunscreen on, and debate on who made the tastiest huckleberry ice cream in the area, amongst other things.
That would be Chucklebear's Ice Creamery.
Sam hadn't really been a good athlete at a sport yet. Wait, I'll get into that history in a few sentences. I get ahead of myself sometimes, and I just want to tell you everything all at once.
No!
I'll get this story right. I pretty purple potato promise you that I will. I cannot forget to mention that Louie, her Siamese kitty, would be there for snuggles and cuddles. So Sam, Louie, Mom, and Pop were in their new home on a hill overlooking the never-ending ocean waves and hearing them, too. Sam had developed into a pretty good student so far. She was such a reader. She was so enthusiastic about reading because this activity added new things to her memory every time she did it. When you read or learn something, you have more information to help you make better decisions. People have so much space to learn that they can do it forever. I learned that a long time ago, and I have not forgotten it. Sam loved to read funny things, science things, history things, and intricate riddles that she had to read a few times in order to better understand them, so she could then solve them. Sam really liked complex conundrums because they made her think harder and sharper than she ever had before. When a riddle appeared to be impossible, Sam would take a deep breath and then refocus. This always worked for her. Sam didn't boast to most about her brain-teaser triumphs, as she was modest. Sam truly relished being called a reader by her teachers, but she wanted to be more than that now. Like we should all be. She wanted to live a more exciting life. Louis seemed to have more fun than her sometimes, especially if he snuck outside, got up a tree, and began to serenade the neighborhood with his special songs. Sam often wondered how he could sound like that and if he were injured. He never was. Louis was happy because he was singing, not singing because he was happy. Please remember this. Do positive things, experience positive emotions.
It's the secret to life.
Sam had tried several sports before. Her mom thought that it would be good for her to learn individual sports like golf, tennis, and pool, or billiards, as some call it. Her mom thought this was best because this would help Sam depend on herself in games, and she wouldn't let her teammates down when the family moved again. Her mom had a job where she trained other people on new technologies all around the nation they lived in. Her mom's job was very important because she had vital information that she needed to teach others about. Her mom came from a country across the world when she was Sam's age, so she knew how Sam could feel when they again moved somewhere new. Sam never won a game at anything she had tried yet, and had some complicated feelings about this pattern of behavior. Her mom would always say, "Someone has to win and someone has to lose. You'll always be one or the other." Sam wanted to at least be as competent at a sport as she was in most of her studies. Anyway, to the hey, Sam really tried at tennis and took lessons with other children her age. Sam could move back and forth quickly and spin around so fast that her hair would wrap around her face and it would get caught in her mouth sometimes. The racket seemed to be the issue. She couldn't quite get it to do what she wanted it to do. Instead, she would just bounce tennis balls with her hands on the ground back and forth, kind of like juggling, but on the ground.
Or upside down.
She impressed the tennis coach with that talent, and then she moved. She continued with the habit of ball bouncing, though, especially when she was nervous. She wouldn't do it on an airplane trip or the bus, though. She didn't want to disturb fellow travelers. She would read instead and mind her own business.
As one should.
Her pop wanted her to run cross-country when she would be older. She was too young to run all around by herself. He did teach her calisthenics, though. She could do 100 jumping jacks in a row. She called them 2Js for grins and giggles. She had tried to do 100 2Js every day. She soon found herself doing 2Js and bouncing tennis balls when she was nervous. Doing those things helped distract her from thinking about things that wouldn't matter in 7 minutes anyway. The only time Sam couldn't do these things was when she was in bed going to sleep. Sam thought about the things that had happened and things that had not yet happened, and maybe would never happen sometimes when she was supposed to be falling asleep. Sam always fell asleep and had dreams made to be made into cartoons every night. It's just that some nights it took a little longer for her to be in the state of slumber. Sam started at the new school and everyone seemed nice. Sam was introduced in each class as is the custom. Her new classmates smiled with teeth or upturned lips, whispered to another, and one actually sneezed.
Gesundheit.
Sam thought the whispers may have to do with her, but not the sneeze.
Allergy sneeze.
Sam had been through this before, and she still wanted to be liked by most people. She tended to read more and talk less with others, but Sam always found someone to eat lunch with and talk about the tender and tasty tater tots.
Get your tot on.
At this school, it was Hickory Elementary if you are keeping score at home. Her first friend would be Abby.
A-double-B-I-E, Abby.
During homeroom, Abby saw the book Sam had in her backpack one day and blurted, "I want to read your books and be your friend, and not necessarily in that order," out in class. The teacher just smiled and said, "Girls, these are things I get delighted with whenever I hear them." So Sam and Abby became homeroom heroes, cafeteria comrades, and had a sleepover planned before Halloween. Sam was not so confident in all of her other classes and with other students. Her classmates would still whisper and kind of smile 2 weeks into the school year. They wouldn't speak to her. They weren't unkind towards her, but engaging her in conversation seemed as improbable as a hippo becoming a trumpet-playing astronaut. Sam became more unsure of herself, and it showed. She would get red and hot when she was in the hallways, and even more so when she entered a new classroom. Homeroom felt safe because of Abby and her amiable educator, or teach, if you like the brevity thing. That was a big positive. Sam was easily able to talk herself into going to school because Abby was there to start off the day, and then in the middle of the day to boost her through most days without wanting to go to the nurse or spend an extra 7 minutes in the bathroom or strolling as slow as glue goes down the stairs to a class without Abby. Sam hadn't told her parents about not wanting to go to school yet. She wanted to be mature and didn't want to burden them because they were having their own annoying adjustments to their new jobs. This was troubling because her parents only wanted to help her, and she was never a bother to them. They would have tried to help her like she was a stuck Louie in a tree and they were the fearless firefighters to the rescue. Whenever we have a peculiar feeling and we don't feel okay, we should always ask someone for help to see if our feelings are normal for the situation. If someone was jumping out of an airplane for the first time and she said she felt tired and hungry, I'd certainly question her feelings. If she said she was scared and excited, I'd think that she was feeling just about right. Please forgive me. It takes me a long time to get to the story sometimes. Well, in order to paint the picture, we have to have the correct brushes, the perfect colors, and the appropriate canvas, too. I've been selecting them right along with you, and now I'm finally painting the picture.
Sam, can you tell us what's your plan? Can you help us feel okay today and always, Sam?
Sam could walk home from school 3 days a week, and 2 days a week she went to a local recreational center where she would swim in the indoor pool until her mom or pop or both would pick her up. The lifeguard at the pool, Betsy, was very kind and would talk to Sam so Sam wasn't so lonely. Sam didn't swim laps and didn't jump off the diving board either. She kinda paddled around. She could never go to the ocean by herself because she was too young. Betsy and Sam spoke on their respective days and their previous days and experiences. Sam liked to jump straight up in the water because she felt strong emerging from the water like a dolphin leaping upward. Sam noticed that jumping from where the water met her navel was where she could get highest without ducking down into the water. Sam started doing 2Js while jumping up in the water too. Betsy would encourage Sam. Betsy knew children well. She had been one a long time ago, and she could recognize when children needed a boost to believe themselves a bit more. Sam always felt better about Sam after some pool time with Betsy.
Sounds like we could all use a Betsy in our lives.
The days that Sam didn't make waves at the rec center, Sam just went home and completed her homework. There was a bit of a series of issues with that, however. Sam was now old enough to walk home alone. Sam was jittery about walking home around other students. Abby took the bus. Sam couldn't take the bus because she lived too close to school. Sam was smart about it, though. She took the second best way home. It was a bit longer, 17 minutes, and it was safe, too. It had to be. Her parents tracked her on their phones to ensure she was where she was supposed to be. They trusted Sam. She could do her own thing. Funny thing was that she found herself practically jogging home. She had to run sometimes because of unruly and surly dogs on longer leads at shorter fences than what would be expected. Sam had names for these hounds too. Fangsy, barks it all out, and growls and howls. Sam couldn't walk on the other side of the street because there was no sidewalk, so she had to move past them. Sam would leap and spin into a 2J sometimes if she got too close to one of the dogs. So, most days, her series of sprints home resulted in her being safe at home before too long. Sam would immediately text her parents on her safe arrival and swig some earth juice, also known as water, and perform some mind puzzles to get her back in Sam mode.
Sam mode is a good thing.
Then, out of nowhere, something else new happened that caused Sam to experience anxiety. On Monday, there was a new class replacing the first recess. Why, it was physical education, of course. Sam could feel her heart-pumping dread all through her body. Her stomach sank faster than a stone in a saucer. Her mouth felt like it was filled with searing sandpaper. Her hands were somehow simultaneously slimy, shaky, and Siberian. Sam knew there would be sports, and she scarily speculated that this was not going to go great. Sam's eyes of alarm and crimson cheeks provoked some whispers. The teacher introduced himself as Coach H. The H is for health, he would affirm. He then directed the children to line up into 2 rows of 8 and stated that they would be learning how to play basketball. Most of the students eagerly exclaimed that they already knew how to play. Sam had no idea how to play basketball, and her nervousness swelled in her belly. Coach H then tossed out 4 basketballs. The balls found their ways to welcoming palms. One bounced its way to Sam. Sam sheepishly held it in her hands. It was bigger than a tennis, golf, and pool ball. What would she do with it? A classmate spouted,
Dribble it! Pass it! Come on!
Big H goaded Sam with, Just bounce it with your hands, back and forth between your hands. Sam took a deep breath like with her puzzles, and then let physics do its thing in physical education by dropping the ball. It bounced back up to her. She smirked and felt a few inches taller. This was something she knew how to do and do well. It was like her tennis ball routine. Sam dribbled the ball with a great nimbleness back and forth between her hands. She had no problem completing a bouncing pass. The other aspiring athletes then clumsily chucked the ball back to her, and soon she was rapidly ricocheting it between her hands. This was improving Sam's mood. His H-ness then told everyone it was time to do wind sprints. The kids groaned like there would never be another piece of candy created again. Sam was feeling so positive that she was open to trying something new. H-Areno explained what needed to be done, and Sam felt unsure of herself again. All the classmates lined up and then sprinted to the first mark line and stopped there only to run right back to where they were when they started, and then they ran to a farther line and so on. Sam found this exercise to be similar to her way of getting home, except there would be no aggressive, snarling canines. The wind sprints did not wind Sam in the least, for she effortlessly executed all of her dashes with delight. H.R. praised her and told the other students to have a better attitude like Sam. She thought to herself, what exactly is happening here? I'm good at some athletic things now? H.T. and Biscuits then had half of the students take a ball and spin around, dribble the ball, spin back, and then pass it to the next person. Sam could always spin well when she took tennis lessons, so this was not challenging for her. The children who were already adroit at basketball were cheering on Sam, and some gushed that they wanted to be her partner.
Yay!
H. Money gave Sam a thumbs up and reported that it was time for defense. He instructed that the children were to line up in front of him in order to stop him from getting the ball past them. Sam was fifth in line. She witnessed those before her just wave their arms like they had to go to the bathroom really bad and were trying to get the teacher's attention. H-Bomb delivered and would deftly get the ball over their heads, slip it off to one side, or sometimes through their legs in a bounce. Sam was thinking 2Js and pool jumps would help her with this. When it was her turn, Sam was like a flash of arms and legs. She stopped Coach H 7 times before he gripped the ball with grit and announced, "Next." Sam strolled to the back of the line, receiving fervent high fives and enthusiastic endorsements from her fellow pupils. Class had to end before Sam could face H again. Some informed her that she had strong skills and would easily make the team next semester. Abby had heard all about it and told Sam at lunch that she would teach her how to shoot a basketball because she had a hoop at home. Sam squinted her eyes and began to make a questioning sound when Abby interjected, "Shooting the ball is the term for throwing the ball to score.
To make points to win the game."
When it was time for Sam to go home, some of the students from physical education invited her to walk with them. Sam politely declined and offered, "Probably later this week. Thank you for asking me. I'll see you tomorrow." Sam wanted to walk home celebrating solo and did so with each step. The hairy hounds wouldn't be a cause for alarm any longer. Sam thought how she was patiently and consistently developing talents through some habits of hers to distract herself during moments of unease. Sam always knew the puzzles helped her with her academics, but never thought 2Js or tennis balls would have produced today's achievements. Sam just did the things to help her feel better, and they turned out to help her in other ways she couldn't have imagined back on that tennis court a few years back. It was positively fascinating to her that she was now beginning to feel more optimistic about things. She was not going to be anxious about hitting the Hickory Halls tomorrow or any day in the future. Sam knew that she would still be okay with who she was, even if she didn't learn about basketball today, but it did bring a sense of relief and an openness to try new things. Sam couldn't wait to tell her parents the news, and I'd like to think that they couldn't wait to hear Sam tell it, because they had been waiting to have this conversation for a very long time. So remember that it's always a grand idea to do positive things that will help you develop more ways of feeling better, and also new ways of learning new activities that will help you be an all-around more skilled person. We have to acquire new knowledge and things whether we want to or not. Might as well learn things that are ultimately and spectacularly helpful. Or don't. Life is so much easier when you do, though. And I wish the best for you.